Welcome in. I hope everyone's doing very well. Glad to see you again. Today we got something slightly special planned. We're going to be trying out Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 once again, and we're going to be doing a flight from Moscow to Riga Airport International in Latvia. So this will be an interesting one. I've not really used this game much. I have it on Game Pass, and I thought it'd be a great thing to do on Friday. It's looking beautiful outside in England, I might add. And yeah, we're all feeling good, so let's give this a chance. I'm just in the process at the moment of starting the sort of flight planning procedures, and I'm kind of new to all this. If you're new to it and you don't really understand it, maybe this is a good video to watch. And we talk a little bit about the startup and the en route waypoints, etc, etc. Alright, well, hopefully the feed is coming through nice and clearly for you. I assume that it is. We'll go ahead and jump straight in. So we'll go back on my tab to Microsoft Flight Simulator. We've got our 737. About to change the livery, or maybe not. We'll keep it a Boeing business jet for a Friday. How about that? Okay, save and escape. Now this is a little bit unfamiliar to me because I'm used to flight gear and I'm used to other flight simulators in general. It's going to be interesting to see how the controls handle. If you've enjoyed any of the recent content, especially these live streams, please let me know. Estimated time of arrival should be maybe about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Okay, so we start. We're at gate 112, Moscow Sheremetyevo Airport, and Здравствуйте, Добро пожаловать to any Muscovites. If you're in the chat, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's nice to be flying in some Eastern territory today. And there she is. There is the very proud and magnificent Boeing 737 MAX, one of the greatest planes ever made. Okay, so we're in. We're at the gate. We got to start off. Cold and dark next to our Spirit friend. Let's hope we have good spirits today. The weather in Moscow as well, looking absolutely fantastic. If you're from Moscow, say hello. Again, privyet. Welcome in. Nadios vam ponravится video. I believe it is. Please don't look down on me for saying it wrong. Remove before flight. We get through this pretty quick because I know the plane's in pretty much working order. I know everything's going to be good, the tyres, the air pressure. And as I've said before, usually a mechanic or an engineer would check this stuff before flight. You wouldn't really have a pilot doing it. Right, we'll go ahead and hop inside. But just actually one more look before we do, because that is a rather amazing plane. I mean, look at that. Okay, we're flying Boeing business jets. Let's hope we have some important guests on board. Here she is, back in the cockpit. Gonna go ahead and look around. Hello, Bob. This is our co-pilot, Bob. We can have no, we can't have a quick look in the cabin on this. Okay, that's disappointing. Maybe that feature will be coming later on, who knows. I'm not really intending to keep this game, so once it goes past the free trial date, which in my case will be about 2 weeks, so about the 9th of March, I'll lose access to it and I probably won't be gaining access again. It looks great and it's good that it's got a co-pilot, but there's still things I don't like about it. I did figure out how to turn the names of these things off so it doesn't show up. So we got a bit more realism for the flight today. Okay, we're going to go start up as quickly as we can. If you want that battery on. Boom. There we go. Turn the lights on so you can see where they are. Circuit breaker light is on. I'm assuming... Yep. The one's overhead. Okay, we want to start our APU up down here. Now remember this time, You have to hold it down to start, like so, for about 5 seconds. Maybe more than 5. Okay, that didn't really work, so let's try it again. I had this issue last time I was starting up the 737 MAX. The APU just didn't start when I was holding it in position. Oh no. We got a flight to Riga, come on. This should be working. There's absolutely no sign of life on this aircraft whatsoever. Ah, oh dear, dear, dear. Welcome in as well, my name's Grantham. You've probably figured that out already, so I'll save myself the embarrassment and try and get this thing started. It's kind of like, sometimes with Microsoft with this game, my limited experience is like fighting an uphill, it's like going uphill against a dinosaur or something. It's just, let's just do the obvious thing, let's just go ground power, if that even works. APU on. Now you turn it off again. Man. Now we can't even zoom out. Great. As much as I would love to enjoy this game, like this really, I know the starting procedure, and I'm sure a lot of people who play this do, but the people who don't are probably going to be wondering, like, what is going on at this point. I know I don't know the procedure correctly, but I'm following the guidance from other YouTubers, and we get to this sort of wall. It's telling us we've got volts on the APU, but there's been absolutely no indication that it's working whatsoever. Like, absolutely none. So I have no idea what's going on, and half the switch is already switched on. Right. I think Microsoft needs to make it very clear what's on and what isn't, and it needs to give sound cues, because I haven't got any sound cues at the moment. So sound design is off, but we're here to do the flight. We're not really here to focus on people's jobs, you know, and development of games. Okay, standby power should be auto, yes. Run a line RIRS switches. Or navigation. Yeah. They work, that's good. Probably was ready to go, to be honest. Turn the fuel pumps on so we have flow to the engines. We've got our APU bleed on, so we can go ahead and click start, ignition left. And already the engines will spool up, albeit very slowly. Well, maybe not. Probably missed a step. That's because that should be on, to be honest. Off. They should be off. I don't know why it was spawning with it on, unless the APU is still not running. There's not got any volts to it again. Oh dear, dear, dear. So this is so confusing. Is the APU? It's saying the APU's on now, or off, and the APU generator on. I don't want to do an auto start, because that would be cheating. And I have started this aircraft before many times in other games, and on this one, in the brief time I've had it. Say source off, maybe we could just do generators on, maybe that would save us time, but it does say be generator bus off bus, even though it's auto. We do have a sound in the background. we can't have fun unless this plane doesn't start, so sorry if you've joined and you expected a nice 777 flight off a flight gear and we're stuck with this. So sorry if you expected that. Right, finally. So it seems to be the APU sound after all that messing around and contradictory information. It seems to have started. I'm just going to go ahead and do that pretty quick. Fuel flows on. APU bleed on. Right, that's engine 1 started, left engine on. Cruising altitude, we'll do that in a minute. But hopefully something like 28,000. It's such a clear day, we'll be able to see the majority of it. And look at that nice sun out there. Okay, so the first engine was still going. Now we're on the second. Wait for it to reach 20% on the N2. N2 is the internal turbine. The real part of the engine. Of course, N1 is the fan. The outside part that you see. Okay, we're at 20%. A lot of hassle what we got there. Okay, we have our engines on. The starter switch is disengaged, just about. Go ahead and stick all of our, not all of our lights, we'll stick our APU off, sorry. Off. Generators on. APU, we'll leave that on. These should now be on auto. Just checking the system, standby powers on auto. Keep that closed, cab utilities and passengers. So you can see there we got 115 AC volts for the generators. Still giving us power to the APU even though I have switched it off, so it should be discharging momentarily. Okay, your damper on. We have done the IRS. Yeah, they're set. We have got our flight plan. Hang on, we got a warning over to the left. Dual bleed on. Maybe turn the APU bleed off. That would help. Since our engines are now providing the air to this system. Okay, so we're ready to go. We're ready to get started finally. I don't know what no V speed is, maybe because we're not programmed the autopilot, and we'll go back down to the FMC. Now technically I have done it a little bit wrong because I didn't request a pushback. I wasn't sure, to be honest, what our runway would be, so we'll go ahead and we'll go on ground. Or maybe ATIS might be a good idea so we can get the information. Sheremetyevo Airport information, Yankee.
Visibility, tree. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, tree. Dew point, 8. QNH QNH102500. ILS runway 24C, ILS runway 24R, and ILS runway 24L in use. Landing and departing runway 24C, runway 24R, and runway 24L. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Yankee.
Looks like 24 is the departure runway.
Yankee 1300.
Go ahead and tune our heading.
8 at 4. Visibility, tree. Sky condition, clear.
Don't like the blurriness of Microsoft numbers. We can change them.
102500.
You cannot see what you're doing with them at all, which is really, really disappointing. And it just makes it look pretty much unusable, to be honest. I hope the microphone's not too loud. Trying to keep it at a safe distance from the mouth, whilst at the same time allowing to hear me. 24.
Sharma Evo Airport information, Yankee 1300 Zulu. Wind 188 at 4. Visibility.
Okay, we got a tune ground. We're gonna request we need to request our we do need to request IFR, but it's not coming up. We did file the flight plan before getting in the game. Oh, clearance, we need clearance. Okay. Or maybe we don't. Again, trying to navigate, there it is, request instruments, flight rules clearance.
Boeing, Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy IFR, to Riga ready, to copy.
Boeing, Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy is cleared to Riga Airport as filed. Expect runway 24 L maintain 700 feet departure frequency is 119er. 5 squawk 1406.
Okay, 1406. And the reason we can't actually see it is because there's no lights on it. So we have to do that. We have to also turn the hydraulics on. That would help.
24L maintain 700 feet departure frequency is 119er. 5 squawk 1406 Boeing, Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy.
Awesome. So
Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy reback correct. Contact ground on 12 tree. 6. Good day.
Spasibo Balshaya. Thank you very much, ground 123.6. So we'll, as I was saying, we haven't really got hydraulic controls, I haven't turned them on, so we'll go ahead and turn them on. See, that gives us access to the flight controls. We also need to turn the we need to activate our aircraft and turn the lights onto our radio panel so we can see it. Now, remember last time I didn't really have much luck because the switches for the lights are way back here, so if you can't see any lights on, it's because these aren't turned on. Flight deck door, go deny because we're now active. We can just tune 1236 like that, so we're kind of cheating, and then we can request our taxi, but first we need to program in and just double check our flight plan. So we need to put 1406 as our squawk code. 1406. There we go. And that should be it. Our flight plan should be done. Usually the pilot wouldn't even program it, it'd just be loaded into the system, so we've saved them time. You can check the flight plan on here. Route, yes. Destination is Riga from Moscow Sheremetyevo Airport. Departing standard instrument departure for some reason. Okay. An arrival. Have an ILS stars approach. So stars is standard approach. Right, so let's cruising altitude said about 28,000. Flight level 280. I don't know the information to the cost index. I'm not a company owner for the 737 MAX. flaps. 5. Five on the flaps. Center of gravity, right, we can... Well, we could have calculated some of this. I'll be honest, I don't really know how to do it properly. And I don't think this stuff is working in this game. Right, we're going to go ahead and tune the ground services requesting pushback.
Ground Boeing Quebec Charlie Uniform 9er tree 1 tree heavy requesting pushback.
Boeing Quebec Charlie Uniform 9er tree 1 tree heavy pushback request accepted.
Okay, that's interesting. You can't actually request a clearance to taxi whilst being pushed back. Take a break off. Make the man's job ever so slightly easier. Oh wow, this should be an incredible view departing out over Moscow. And apologies, it's taken half an hour to do the startup. I guess that's navigating an unfamiliar game. Unfamiliar aircraft on the game because I haven't flown in a while, and you know, there's differences between simulators. We're not here to do that, we're here to focus on the flying. Wow, the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations. So, if this plane crashes, let's hope they've got some people on standby. Okay, we have a nice pushback. Not quite to the taxiway. In fact, he's pushed us the wrong way, so we're gonna have to do a U-turn. Does look good. The game runs. I've got my stats up on the top right. It does run consistently over 100 frames. Doesn't really use much GPU, but it does use a lot of CPU. So it is completely up to you if you get it. Right, request taxi. IFR.
Ground Boeing Quebec Charlie Uniform 9er tree 1 tree heavy with Yankee ready to taxi IFR.
Boeing Quebec Charlie Uniform 9er tree 1 tree heavy taxi to and hold short of runway 2 for L via taxiway Sierra 10 Alpha Alpha 9er. Contact tower on 1 tree 1. Fife when ready.
Awesome. So we got a taxi clearance. We'll acknowledge that. Spasiba, my friend. Thank you very much.
Runway 24 L via taxiway Sierra 10 Alpha Alpha 9er Boeing Quebec Charlie Uniform 9er tree 1 tree heavy.
Okay, that would be kind of cool in that moment if we had some Russian speakers on there to make the situation a bit more realistic, because they're American by the sounds of it. We're in Sheremetyevo Airport, so maybe give them an accent. I think Microsoft could have done that a bit better. You can't just have the standard voice for the entire world. That's a bit unrealistic. Right, we're going to go ahead and just set our autopilot. So we set it up to 22,000, 28,000. There's a much easier way to do that, but for some reason the game isn't giving us the option. Okay, we'll do... I hope I can use the actual autopilot. Right, let's get going. So going down, taxiing, hold short, runway 24 left via Sierra 10 Alpha 9. Okay, so neutralize the trim. Let's get going. We're gonna have to do a really tricky maneuver right here. We're gonna have to do a U-turn. Okay, we'll go ahead and turn that panel up as well. And if I am slightly lost, I can always use the airport map. There we go. So on here, flight details. Usually we'd have like an airport map on there. I don't know, but there's the flight route we're going to be taking if we eventually get into the air. I'm afraid it's das vidanya to Moscow, and hello to Riga, Latvia. That should be interesting. So we fly in, hopefully we see some recognisable sights, same as when we fly out of Russia for that matter. Okay, let's hope we can find the taxiway. So taxiway 010 and then 2 alphas. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my god. Microsoft, fix your damn game. We just shot across the taxiway and runway then for absolutely no reason whatsoever. The thrust just got throttled forward. The reverse thrusters were engaged as well. Oh my goodness. Oh dear, dear, dear. Very, very disappointing. Oh shit, it's doing it again. I have no idea why it's doing that. The autopilot and the autothrottle is not even engaged at this point. The brakes are like fully on. Oh my god. I hope this isn't going to go wrong as soon as we started. Just in case we have full speed again. I'm really sorry this isn't a professional departure. We're just going to go ahead and advance very slowly if we can onto a runway. At least if it goes full speed we can take off immediately onto runway 24 next to us. I'm so sorry guys, this is YouTube I guess. This is what live streaming is, no editing. Okay, we got the brakes off, we're moving slowly. I think it was because I thought I pressed brake and it put it into 100% N1. Well, we'll go ahead and get our taxi clearance. No. We have to actually taxi there to get it. I mean, we were so close. We were on the runway. We just didn't. No X button then I guess for brakes. We'll just have to wing it. So sorry Moscow Airport. I'm so not doing this game again after this. Sorry, Bob. We failed our audience. Oh, finally, down Alpha. A good thing we moved out of the way because we would have been crushed by that Airbus. And that Airbus hasn't got any engines. If you're enjoying this, please let me know. I think that was where we originally parked, somewhere over there. We want 24 left. Yeah, this is ours on this side. It's a big airport. It's much bigger than I realised. I didn't realise Moscow had not only Moscow Sheremetyevo, but Domodedovo Airport, is it? So it's got a few big airports there and some classic planes. If you don't already know about Russian planes, you should go check them out. They're releasing I believe they're working on a new one, something like the I think it's like a C91 or something. I might be wrong, but it's a brand new plane they're working on. It looks great. It's supposed to be competing with the likes of Boeing and Airbus. That should be very interesting to see. Alright, we have to put our parking brake on. I have no idea. Request takeoff clearance.
Sheremetyevo Tower, Boeing, Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy at runway 24L ready for departure IFR to Riga.
Boeing, Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree, heavy QNH 1024 traffic is generic on final. Cleared for takeoff, runway 24L.
Roger that.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 24L, Boeing, Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy.
Cleared for takeoff. 10124 on QNH. Traffic is generic on final, so
Sheremetyevo Tower, generic Papa Bravo.
yeah, we got time. Let's go.
6 miles south, 1,300 feet with Yankee time.
Generic Papa Bravo, Delta 682 tree, Sheremetyevo Tower. QNH 1024. Make left downwind, runway 2.
This is it. This is the big part of the flight, the best part. Oh shit. Oh god. Oh man. I wish I could take this seriously, but the game is an absolute mess. An absolute mess in terms of its controls. Oh my god, what the fuck is happening? Oh my god. We tuned the trim bar, for God's sake. Ah, let's put that gear up before we crash. The game is an absolute mess. I think I just did a V1 rotator about 10 knots. Damn you, Microsoft. How can a flight sim take this seriously? Okay, we will stick the autothrottle on.
Fife for Boeing Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy.
Roger that.
Russia 6515, turn next taxiway.
I think it's the trim. I think the trim is too sensitive. The autopilot's not even engaged, but it seems to be like the plane seems to be just flying itself. Unless I've gone online and someone else is flying my plane, which would make me look really stupid, wouldn't it? I'm pretty sure I haven't though. I really hope I haven't gone online. I haven't when I was loading up a selected single player. Right, we didn't even have a chance to do our landing lights. Flight director not even working.
Russia 6515, contact ground on 122. 9er.
Right, figure out the autopilot now. We've barely took off, and we're 45 minutes in already.
9er Russia 6515.
Generic 82, tree acknowledge last transmission.
I believe we select lateral navigation. Doesn't seem to be. Maybe it is already engaged, but it doesn't seem to be illuminating on the panel. That would usually be what you would select. Because so far we've only got speed and vertical speed activated. We seem to be in control of heading. Maybe we haven't programmed it correctly. Let me just go on the flight plan. Route. I mean, the route is there. It's popping up as working. We have to say goodbye to Russia, Moscow. I will certainly be getting the insurance company to sort out all your runway stuff and grass, because I've completely messed it up by the look of it. So yeah, moving swiftly on to our autopilot problem. We just have to make do with what we have at the moment, which is heading basically. And we'll have to head on to the flight path. For some reason our plane is stalling. I really hope the passengers are alive. Seatbelt signs were on during that miraculous 10-second takeoff. Climbing swiftly through to 28,000, on course for Riga just about.
Moscow Center Boeing Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy, is passing 15,700 feet, descending 700 feet. Boeing Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy, Moscow Center QNH 1024 radar, contact continue. Boeing Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy, descend and maintain 2,000 feet.
Now
Descend and maintain 2,000 foot Boeing Quebec, Charlie Uniform.
Ah, sod it. I've acknowledged it, that's enough. We can just carry on our flight plan. There's no time to stop at this point. No, we've wasted the majority of the flight trying to navigate the controls of Microsoft Flight Simulator. The future looks very pretty. Very cartoonish, but very, very poor in terms of its flight model. And realism is just not there at all, to be honest. So if you're looking at buying this, I actually recommend don't buy it. Just get it on Game Pass, which is what I've done. So I've saved you all a little bit of a headache. Yes, welcome into you. I hope you're enjoying the rather unprofessional flight. We have got more professional flight in the Boeing 777 on Monday. Looking forward to it. Last night I was messing around on flight gear and I was flying the Tupolev. The Tupolev 154, and I have to say I'm looking.
Quebec Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree, heavy. Please expedite your descent 2,000 feet.
Controllers, eh?
Moscow Center Boeing Quebec Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree, heavy would like to cancel IFR. Boeing Quebec Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree, heavy IFR flight plan. Is canceled, radar service terminated. Squawk 7000. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Right, we've cancelled that because I didn't want to listen to the controller. I'm not enjoying the experience, to be honest, which is a shame. Sure, it's a little bit funny, but it's also a massive joke. So yes, we will stick to a game that actually works on Monday. We'll get the flight done today in this plane, and we will try and make the most of a bad situation, I guess. We will literally fly VFR along our flight route till we reach our destination. Our plane is barely 160 knots on a climb at full speed, so something is obviously going wrong in the game, and it's still pitching up, and the trim, when you alter it changes the aircraft pitch to such a degree then it makes it unflyable. It really does. Okay, flight details. We do have a flight plan, so we'll click. We're arriving via Patton, VFR Patton, via LTRDRP to Riga International Runway 36. I've sent the route to the avionics before. Let's see if it'll do it again. LNAV won't engage whatsoever. Oh, that's terrible. I can't even type in the box without it changing views. Can't change the amount of passengers you have on board or the fuel. X-Plane does this a lot better. I haven't even got the full edition of X-Plane yet, and I've enjoyed that so much more. Yes, anyway, as I was saying, we cancelled the flight plan with flight VFR. I can't remember what I was saying before that, so yeah, enjoy the flight while you can. Yes, welcome in, gaming. I'll call you gaming. I hope you're enjoying it. It's been a real nightmare to get this game working up to now, but We're in the air en route for Riga. I don't know what the estimated flight time is. Can't find it in the flight planner. I'm assuming it's about an hour. I hope everything is well with you and anyone else watching. Ladies and gentlemen, you're free to move about the cabin. If half of you have perished during the takeoff, we will personally guarantee a first-class funeral. That's what we do here at Boeing Business Jets and at Microsoft Flight Simulator. Thank you very much. If you got any complaints, please file a complaint after. We just reached our cruising altitude of approximately 28,000 feet, going 313 knots. We should be maintaining this for the majority of the flight. Estimated flight time based on the map, because I haven't got a time of arrival on here anywhere. I would say that was about an hour. Hopefully less at this rate. It's very clear skies and pretty weather on arrival. I'm just going to be nipping away from the cockpit for a few moments, so I hope you can enjoy the view whilst I'm gone. Any issues at all, I'll leave it there so you can see the map as well. Any issues at all, and put it in chat. Just returned back to the cockpit, realised the plane has actually experienced some turbulence. Relatively moderate, to be honest. Seatbelt signs are off, but it is rocking us side to side, so it might warrant a seatbelt sign on. Welcome in, добро пожаловать на my YouTube canal, apologies, and if you are new here, you're enjoying this, you want to see more flights, let me know. This is not particularly well flown route at the moment, I understand that, it's not particularly well flown in the real world, and it's certainly not one of the most popular places, so yeah, it might just be interesting to fly around this area a bit more and see whether it's interesting to people or not, or whether they've genuinely just got interested in the Western countries. Like last night, I was on Flight Gear, and I found it a lot better than Microsoft Flight Simulator. Not as good in the graphics, but it's just overall a better game, a better experience in general. Yeah, I found myself last night flying over the Balkans, doing a lot of leisure flights around the Balkans at the moment. Actually, I went from Belgrade. I was flying around Belgrade, I was flying around Bulgaria, and other Balkan states such as Romania. If you want to see that, I have a plan for Monday from, I believe it's Venice Airport in Italy, and we're going up to Poland, Krakow. So that should be a good one. That'll be in the 777-300 extended range. We're doing the 737 MAX today, and as I've pointed out before, there are some important differences between this and the 800 version. Notably, the screens, there are a lot more screens and digitized, and yeah. Up here where the APU is, there used to be a dial. If you played X-Plane, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you're a real pilot, you probably also know what I'm talking about as well. Just got the option to execute that. Maybe that's gonna allow us to switch LNAV on. No, just see, I can't seem to get that LNAV to work despite having a flight plan on this. Oh, let's hide that a sec. We go on route. Well, that is our route right there. That should be active, but it hasn't activated the plan for us, so we can't. I don't know. We just can't. We can't let the plane follow it, unfortunately. I'm a little bit frustrated with Microsoft. They had a good game with Microsoft Flight Simulator X. You're right, Bob. And then they went downhill a bit. So this seems like a cash grab. I've mentioned it before to people. If you want a flight simulator, try Flight Gear. Honestly, it's free. You can't get any better than it, to be honest. You can't go wrong with it. As we approach the halfway mark, I believe. Well, we're almost halfway. I'd say that's about halfway. I'm actually going to increase our speed. It should be about 320, but it won't get up to it. That should get us there a little bit quicker. welcome in as well. If there are any Russians here, or just general aviation enthusiasts, you'd be glad to know, particularly if you're Russian. Or maybe not, maybe you're just interested to know if you're from the West or wherever else. The aircraft that I was talking about earlier that was being developed by a Russian manufacturer was called an MC-21, and it looks very, very good. I'm looking at the site now whilst we cruise through 28,000 feet at 320 knots on our way to Riga. I'm looking at the site, the MC-21, and I have to say, very, very impressive. It looks like a combination of Boeing and Airbus. So it's classed as a medium haul aircraft. It's from Yakovlev. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. And it looks like it's capable of going medium haul with about 211 passengers at maximum capacity. So it's on par with the 737, which is what we're flying today. It can go 5,100 kilometers in distance. That's quite far. I'm not sure how to show it you, but trust me, if you go onto the Yakovlev website, you'll be able to see it for yourselves. So about 5,100 kilometers in distance. The MC-21 can go 21,300 kg in weight. Let me say that again, 21,300 kilograms in weight. And it is composed of 30% share of composite materials. So yeah, it's on par with the 737 and things like the A3, some of the Airbuses I've seen. Good design. It can handle, of course, minus 55, plus 55 Celsius. I have to say the Russians have designed some spectacular aircraft in the past. The Ilyushin, I believe it's called. Just check that. The Ilyushin IL-96, for example, is also on par with the likes of the 747. A massive Russian aircraft, still being used. I believe it's still being used today. And of course they made the likes, the Tupolev Tu-154B, one of my favourites. It's just a very pretty looking aircraft. So yeah, the Russians have made some great aircraft, and of course Boeing have. We're in the 737. The 737 is one of the most widely used commercial aircraft in the world. If you're finding any of that interesting, you'd be glad to know we're not actually giving a history lesson or a aviation lesson. This is a flight to Riga. Here we are actually approaching the halfway point, just about. I'd say the flight's going relatively smoothly. There's been some turbulence, but not a lot. Bob, our co-pilot, has been absolutely useless. I'm sorry, Bob, but I think this might be our last flight together. Well, you know, you've not been doing the job properly, and you almost killed half the passengers on takeoff. See, Bob sits there, and he doesn't move, he doesn't make a sound, he just watches. He's thinking about his bills, what he's going to have for dinner. He's thinking about his wife and his children. He's thinking, how long is this airline going to keep me employed before it sacks me? Well, we don't ask him questions about that, we just expect him to fly the airplane. Okay, halfway point, I'll let you enjoy the rest of the flight. I will check in when we're a bit closer. This is quite a flight. The turbulence has increased once again. It seems to have been coming up and down throughout, so we're going to go ahead and stick the fasten seatbelt signs on. We don't want anyone getting injured. The plane has been, as I say, bouncing around quite a bit during this flight. Can't take any chances. That's right, Bob, we can't take any chances. We don't want a lawsuit on our hands. Lovely view though, from the clouds. They almost look like the sort of foam you would get after you used after you had a bubble bath. Gigantic bubble bath in the sky. I really hope you're enjoying this. This is not my usual game or style of playthrough. I usually fly the 777 on long flights. I don't usually fly a Microsoft Flight Simulator either. I think overall, you know, the looks based on aesthetics, it's about a 4 out of 5, and in terms of realism and physics, maybe about a 3. So it's not as good as it could be. It looks great, but it really just come across as a game. I said it before, more of a game, so it'll appeal to the kids and to the younger people. If you want something serious, you want to fly a plane for real, I don't recommend it. I can't recommend it. It's about time I check in. I hope everybody's doing well on this flight. It's been a very long experience, I can appreciate that. I hope you're enjoying it. The fantastic views on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We're in the Boeing 737 MAX, and privet всем to any Russians who are watching. We're just about to enter we're probably already over Latvia, but I was just going to say we're about to enter the Latvia region. This airport is Riga. We're going from Moscow, Sheremetyevo Airport to Riga today. It's been a very interesting flight. I was going to start my descents maybe about this point, but I'm thinking, since we've had a bit of turbulence and I've asked everyone to remain in their seats, for which I'm very grateful, I will decide to initiate the descent now, just so we're well and truly clear of any turbulent winds. We are going to stick the landing lights on early. Well, actually, no, maybe not. We're going to stick the altitude to about 15,000 feet. So first you change this to 15,000. Usually you can change it 1,000 feet at a time, but for some reason it's not on here. 15,000. Okay, so it won't change. We can either press level change, or we can do vertical speed. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to select a descent speed of about 200 feet per minute. Doesn't seem much, but we've got plenty of time to get there. Or even, actually, let's do 200 feet a minute until we get to about 12,000. Remember, we're still going 320 knots, so we're really fast. The weather's starting to get a bit worse. It was lovely in Russia. In Moscow, beautiful weather, but here, very, very bad. Let's hope the Baltics have some very sweet surprises when we arrive. I'm looking forward to it. Should be able to see all the sights in Riga once we land. Okay, it seems we're actually going quite fast, so I'm going to slow us down to airspeed to 300, and I'm going to start our descent rate to increase our descent rate to 1800 feet a minute. Actually, I'll bring that back to 250, and we'll go ahead and descend all the way down to 8,000 feet. And there's that turbulence again. This has been one hell of a turbulent flight from Moscow to Riga. As you can see, our approach is in sight. I hope we can get down in time. I don't think we're going to be down in time, so we're going to go ahead and cheat. We're going to pull those spoilers out. All the way down to 6,000. I must learn how to do this on Microsoft Flight Simulator. The lateral navigation and this FMC doesn't seem to be working correctly, or as one would expect. So, despite having the flight planned in and loaded, it wasn't in. It was in the FMC, but it won't connect to the autopilot, even though it's activated. As you can see, when we get to the approach, we've got this weird looking thing. We have to go round and then on to final. So I can probably go ahead now and contact Riga. There we are, Riga International, Echo Victor Romeo Alpha, Tune Tower, and we're going to request a full stop landing.
Riga Tower, Ryanair 4641, ready for departure, runway 36 IFR to Orlando.
Maybe not.
Ryanair 4641, QNH 10, clear for takeoff, runway 36, Ryanair 4641.
Busy airport.
Riga Tower, Boeing, Quebec, Charlie Uniform,
That's us.
1 tree heavy is 1 miles east FL210 with uniform to land. Boeing, Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree, heavy Riga Tower. QNH 1021, enter, left downwind runway 36.
Left downwind runway 36.
Enter left downwind runway, tree, 6 Boeing, Quebec, Charlie Uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy.
Okay, there's our landing clearance, and to left downwind runway 36. So we've overshot the runway. We're actually over Riga right now, ladies and gentlemen, but we've massively overshot it. So we're going to enter the downwind for runway 36 as commanded. I didn't realise how close we were to the airport. That's my mistake. Partly because we're so high up, and partly because the FMC isn't working correctly. I'm just going to go ahead and reduce that right down to 160 because we are still fairly high up at 17,000 feet. Stick our landing lights on. There has to be an easier way to do this, i.e. the lateral navigation, but that is not working correctly. Or maybe it is. Maybe there's someone who can help me out and tell me what I'm doing wrong. Right, so left downwind, runway 36. You can see we're turning onto the downwind leg. Or we should be. We should be slowing down. Deploy another notch of flaps. Another notch. Very steep, very quick descent. We'll go ahead and level there, and we should be able to see Riga momentarily. We are over Riga, pretty much, so we should be able to see it. And anyone who's been there will know that the airport here is not actually in the centre. You have to go from this airport, which is Riga, over here, and then the centre of Riga's, and the old town is just over the river. So yeah, always useful to know. Left downwind, we haven't been given permission to land. I wonder if we should just do another circle round and until we get to the appropriate height. That may be a good idea actually. At least that'll give us time to get down. Okay, we slowed down enough, we can retract that. We'll keep it armed. Speed brake is armed. Great.
Riga Tower Ryanair 4641 at runway 36 ready for departure IFR to Orlando. Ryanair 4641 QNH 1021 cleared for takeoff runway 36.
I have a feeling we could actually just go straight in at this point. I know we've been not given permission to land, but we've been given permission to go downwind. Surely the tower's going to anticipate us arriving any second. Thanks for joining me on this long flight. I really appreciate you all being here on a Friday.
Runway 36 approach. Air Baltic 758 Riga Tower. QNH 1021 cleared ILS Zulu runway 36 approach. Cleared ILS Zulu runway 36 approach. Air Baltic 758.
Right, let's do this manually. Let's keep the speed on, let's disengage the autopilot. I'm going straight in, runway 36 at Riga. I'm not waiting any longer. It's been a good flight, it's been emotional, but we're going in. Straight through the thick of the clouds by the look of it.
Ryanair 4641 contact Riga Center on 1280. Good day.
This is frightening, isn't it? I think it's about 5:30 in Riga, local time.
Heavy wind tree 52 at 7. Cleared to land runway 36.
Gonna have to circle round again.
Line up and wait. Air Baltic 2.
There's the runway, we'll go round. Trim worked.
Going to 1280. Ryanair.
Track just gonna pull the gear back up until we're on final again. Keep the flaps as they are.
Air Baltic 223 QNH 1021. Cleared for takeoff runway 36.
Yeah, so it's alright weather. A little bit dark, a little bit overcast. Almost looks like it's thunderstorms.
Runway
There's the runway.
6. Air Baltic
We need to go to downwind, left downwind. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn onto left downwind. Fasten seatbelt signs on, flaps set. Landing lights down.
Boeing Quebec Charlie.
Gear isn't down just yet.
Tree, heavy acknowledge last transmission.
Nah, that's us.
Baltic 223 contact Riga Center on 1280. Good day. Air Baltic 758 follow the on downwind.
I would acknowledge if the game would let me.
Cleared to land runway 36.
And this trim is all over the place. Oh my goodness. Don't recommend this. Awful.
Cleared to land runway 36. Air Baltic 758.
Trying to get a word in edgeways there.
Land runway
Clear to land right. That's it. That's us.
tree 1 tree heavy.
I've never felt more keen to get off of a simulator. A flight simulator.
Baltic 2 tree.
I'm so looking forward to flight gear for Monday. That's going to be a heck of a lot better than this.
2 tree 1 tree heavy.
'Cause I'm so looking forward to flight gear for Monday. That's going to be a heck of a lot better than this. 2 tree 1 tree heavy. I'm so looking forward to flight gear for Monday. That's going to be a heck of a lot better than this. I really am looking forward to that, and to hopefully get next plane. If you've enjoyed the flight, please show your support by telling me, because there's no better way to let me know that you enjoyed it than actually telling me that you enjoyed it. Okay, so we're going in for final. We got a landing gear down. We took another flap in there. We're about 170. We're a bit fast. I'll bring the speed down to 160 in a sec. I.e. now. I'll probably maintain 160 for the final approach. Very, very tricky conditions to land in. Maintain that pitch up so we don't crash. Okay, we go ahead and just all the flaps down.
Air Baltic 758, turn next taxiway.
And that's the runway right there. Auto throttle is going off.
Air Baltic 758, contact ground on 118.
It's going to be a sharp turn at the final. We're really close, probably a bit too close to be honest. And way too high up.
Air Baltic 758.
Trying to reduce the throttle. There we go. Around the corner. Oh dear. Don't worry everyone. Everything is fine, it's just a bit of turbulence. Just a slight bit of turbulence on landing. It's normal. There's the runway. Pilot's in total control. 12 years of training. Okay, there we are. Perfect. Okay, we might slam down. Oh sh. Oh god. Oh, good landing. It's good landing. See, perfect. Perfect. We actually touched down and we landed very well. We had a bit of an incident on final, but it went smoothly, I thought. The aircraft should be slowing down.
Boeing Quebec Charlie uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree, heavy turn next taxiway.
Yes, return next taxiway if I can figure out how to slow down. Let's just do that. Right. Turn next taxiway. Welcome to Riga International Airport, everyone. If you thought that was a glorious landing, just like I did, let me know.
Boeing Quebec Charlie uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree.
Rather impressed with that. Yes, Boeing blah blah turning next taxiway, roger that. If you're here for a serious flight sim, please be assured that this is a one-off and I will not be flying this child game again.
Boeing Quebec Charlie uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree, heavy exit runway, when able.
Yeah, roger, exiting runway to the right. May or may not be a taxiway.
Boeing Quebec Charlie uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree, heavy contact ground on 118.
Awesome. 118.8. Thank you, tower.
118, 8 for Boeing Quebec Charlie uniform, 9er tree, 1 tree heavy.
Okay, we can get our taxi to parking. Or taxi to gates.
Riga ground Boeing Quebec Charlie uniform 9er tree 1 tree heavy taxi to the gate.
Boeing Quebec Charlie uniform 9er tree 1 tree heavy taxi to gate 51 via taxiway Alpha.
Taxi to gate 1 via Alpha. 51 via Alpha.
51 via taxiway Alpha Boeing Quebec Charlie uniform 9er tree 1 tree heavy.
Okay, let's find Alpha on the map. Let's see where Alpha is. And let's assume that Alpha is the one we're on. Because there's no signage. Can't reduce the throttling time. Well, I think that's about it. That'll do. We'll park there. If you enjoyed this flight from Moscow to Riga with a fantastic landing, takeoff, etc. Not a great game, but it was a good landing at the end there by myself. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you all hopefully on Monday for a fantastic flight from Venice to Krakow. I'm much looking forward to it. Really appreciate you being here.